What's happening, gang? I hope this finds everybody well. On today's episode, what we're going to be doing is fueling to be a parent, but actually, layman's terms, it's just fueling for performance with a parent strap line. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you actually what's in my fridge, how I fuel my performance, what you should be focusing on within your fridge and your meal prep, and also as well as what supplementation I take. And I'll try and give you some easy ways in and some easy ways out to make this as convenient as possible. So, number one golden rule that I am a massive fan of is I'm not just a fan of calories in versus calories out. Against popular demand of you can just eat whatever effing hell you want because it's about numbers, for me, food quality is king. Reason why food quality is king is because the less that it's been played with, the easier it is for your body to absorb, okay? Calories in versus calories out does matter. By default, for weight loss or weight gain or whatever is really important, especially for athletes, people that I work with. We look at energy availability, but what that actually takes is eating real food, okay? So for me, the key staples that I have within with those that will know, we've obviously had a little boy. And when time is at the essence and we're super busy, we want to actually make things as practical and as quick as possible. And this is what I stock within my fridge. There's a couple of other things that I'll show you in a minute, but super simple rundown. Protein sources, I always have red meat in the fridge, especially ladies, if you're watching this, you should be having red meat twice a week, minimally. Really high in iron, B vitamins, great for when you're on your period, especially fellas as well, recovery. Red meat's king, so I usually have steaks in there, and I also have 5% beef mince. Against popular demand as well, I sometimes have beef for breakfast, just purely because I like to have a high fat, high protein breakfast and then keep my carbohydrate towards my workouts. We'll talk about that later. Also, salmon, massive game changer. Omega-3s, really good for inflammation and also for brain health. But also, for me personally, it just agrees with me. I really enjoy it. Teriyaki salmon is an absolute game changer. What I also have against popular demand is some convenience food. Now, what many people's perception of convenience food is that this is against, or you should not be having any form of ready meals. For me, when I'm super busy, I've got a lot of work on, Rachel's busy with a kid, or I need to have a kid, banging one of these in the oven. These are like £2.50 from Tesco's. They're 325 calories and they're single source ingredients. These are in the freezer section. Super simple, and it means you don't miss. What many people do with nutrition is they look for perfect. They're trying to have this, you have to have this non-rubbed salmon that's been played about with. Absolutely not. We're looking for fuel. Fuel is king when it comes down to you actually developing. And also, if you have just become a new parent, I know full well that you've been up longer than you should be, which means you're burning more calories, which means more gas needed. Okay? So some convenience food in your freezer, massively important. What you'll see, we also have is we have an air fryer, which is, again, everyone loves an air fryer. And in here, we have a slow cooker. This is the absolute goat of all granola, by the way, just to let you know. That's a slow cooker. For those that are thinking about sort of long-term cooking, if you have to cook for yourself, that for me, put it in the morning, leave it, do your work, sort it out in the evening. Really, really convenient, nice and quick, and you can batch cook too. So protein-wise, we've got meat. We've also got Greek yogurt, which I actually add whey protein in. And also, we've got protein yogurts. These are a really good snack, which again, I add to these. One of Rachel's favorites is you add some Lizzie's granola with one of these in the morning. Really good snack, especially she's breastfeeding, so she has to have an extra 600 calories per day around that neck of the woods. Let's not pretend though, she is squashing a few of them at some point too. Don't worry, not all non-rub stuff for sure. When it comes down to carbohydrate, what many people don't understand in relation to carbohydrate is the glycemic index. So this is it, really, really simple. These are a high glycemic index. These are basically just sugar. I keep anything that's high towards my training. Reason being is it's easy to digest, and also it's not gonna make me feel sick. We don't wanna be having things that are super high in fiber or super low on the glycemic scale before we train, because we're heightening that stress response to get ready to lift heavy weights or go and do a run or whatever. But the biggest staple, and something that I see a lot of professionals miss, is they miss fruit and veg. Now, many people don't even get 5 fruit and veg a day. For me, I want to be getting 10 to 12 fruit and veg a day. That means you actually have to be quite practical about doing it, okay? Imperatively have to have something green on my plate. Reason why: green things are anti-cancerous, anti-inflammation. Broccoli, which will be somewhere, there is one in the fridge. That's really high in vitamin C, really good for your immune system. This all sounds boring. Fruit and veg help you make energy. The more energy and more effective at making energy you are, the better you're going to perform. So start thinking about fruit and veg as actually a catalyst for performance, rather than it being this, your nan told you to eat your fruit and veg. Actually, if you want to be a good sportsman or woman, you want to be a heavyweight professional, not physically heavyweight, but someone who can optimize themselves to a high standard, fruit and veg is king. Carbohydrate sources, me personally, I use sweet potatoes, normal potatoes. I have frozen berries in my freezer all the time. That's a key snack that I have. Also, one thing that I forgot is actually packet rice. Reason why I have packet rice is, again, it's just convenient, it's nice and quick. Is it optimal? No, I'd like to just boil it or whatever. When I haven't got time, this is essential, okay? So I use rice a lot. Brown rice is better for slow energy. White rice is better for fast energy. I prefer having white rice because it's easy for me to digest. I live on wraps. We've got plain ones and also wholemeal ones. And also, love a bit of popcorn. This is wicked snack for in the afternoons. Post-endurance events as well. What we're trying to do is replenish glycogen. Glycogen is stored energy. Stored energy is usually from carbohydrates. You can get it from fat, but not as easy. So popcorn for me is great. It's also really high in fiber. Most people don't get enough fiber, and there's actually studies that show the more fiber that you have, the longer you're going to live on the planet. There you go. When it comes down to training, what obviously I said to you before, what we're looking for is we're looking for speed. So I'm looking for quick release energy. So things that I can toast like bagels, crumpets, hot cross buns, it's Easter at the moment, are really good. Jam's great. Also stuff like honey. I prefer honey than syrup because honey is actually more natural than syrup, and that can be massively beneficial. When it comes down to fats, we've also got protein and fat through eggs. I have eggs every single day. People that say to you that you shouldn't eat too many eggs, your body utilizes and pushes and pulls cholesterol as it needs to. So you can have, I've had them every single day for 5 years and my blood works good. Fats wise, what you want to be doing is staying away from man-made fat. Okay, so man-made fat is stuff like that. It's like margarine, sunflower oils, things that have been man-made. What we want to be doing is, personally, I say to all my clients to limit these to these particular ones usually. Coconut oil, really good to cook with. It's got a high burn rate, so it's not going to be carcinogenic. Whereas olive oil is great for dressings. It's great for you to do really slow cooking with, but it is actually quite carcinogenic if you're doing it for stir fries, for example. So you can use coconut oil, or we use 1-cal spray. Is it optimal? No, I use that especially when I'm trying to stay low on my fat intake. What you'll see a lot of the time as well is what most people do who I deal with, who are athletic as well as busy. They either overeat carbohydrate on days they don't do anything, or they undereat it so they don't actually perform at their best. What you're looking at is between 5 and 8 grams of carbs per kilo of body weight if you're doing for a normal athletic person who's training most days. Okay, that's very, very simple. You want to keep your fat at 1 gram per kilo, around that neck of the woods. If you're dieting, you're probably going to cut that to about 0.6 or 0.8. That's why you'll be using lower cal sprays. I don't really use low cal sprays unless I'm trying to cut or I'm trying to keep my fat content down. Okay, and obviously we've got let's not get it twisted. A bit of chocolate every evening is not going to be a problem. The main thing that we're trying to get here is that your nutrition should be 80% there. Your nutrition should be 80% natural ingredients that aren't really played about with. The other 20%, go and enjoy yourself. That's not just fried chicken included, yeah. Lastly, when it comes down to supplementation, something that I use personally, I use a grass-fed whey. I'm not sponsored by any of these people, by the way, so just these are who I use. A grass-fed whey, I use a grass-fed whey because if I use a normal whey protein, proverbially, a brother is shitting through an eye of a needle, no idea why, or he gets bloated. I have this, it's perfect, so I prefer that. You can get that on Amazon. Creatine. I have 7 grams of creatine every single day. You should have 0.03 grams per kilo. So 5 to 7 to 10 grams, depending how heavy you are. Everybody should be taking this who watch this channel. If you're looking to elevate your performance with your man, woman, rugby player, gymnast, whatever it is, reason being is because it's not just good for muscles and increasing power. It's also really good for brain health. It actually reduces dementia. There you go. Pre-workout. So the thing about synthetic caffeine, it's a lot faster to act on your body. This will hit your system. If I drank this, I'll probably be ready to rock and roll within 5 to 10 minutes, whereas a coffee can take up to an hour. It's called the bioavailability of caffeine. I use a CoQ10 enzyme, 200 milligrams. CoQ10 is used for energy production. You start to lose this enzyme in your body when you're around 30, I think it's 33 or 34, around the neck of the woods. Just to be clear, just put it out there, these are my supplements. I'm not telling you to have these. You should consult somebody who's a professional before you do this. I'm giving you a reason behind my stuff. So I use one of those. I use 5,000 IUs of vitamin D. You can only get vitamin D in the UK 2 or 3 months of the year. Imperative for your immune function. I use curcumin. This is a mega absorb. This is from NutriAdvance. When doing a lot of endurance-based activities, you increase massive amount of inflammation because it's so oxidative. This helps combat that oxidative stress to the body. Is what can cause all sorts of downstream effects from a digestion standpoint and a recovery standpoint. That helps me recover. Vitamin C, there's 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C. This has got a bit of glutathione in it too. This is imperative for immune function. Multivitamin, this is your insurance policy. All this has loads of has vitamins and minerals in it, but do I know how much I'm getting all the time without me being super specific? No, this covers my bases. Omega-3, this has got DHA and EPA in it. This is massive for inflammation, also for brain health and joint integrity. And lastly, on those supplementation, I use an immune support, which is a probiotic greens antioxidant blend. Again, when I say about I want to get all my fruit and veg in, what I'm trying to do is make sure that my immune system is as high as it possibly can so I don't get sick and also that I recover. And this is like, again, 1% gain. Last two that I have are, I have this every single morning. My morning routine, hydrate before I caffeinate and then sunlight. So I have 700 to 500, 1,500 milligrams of sodium first thing in the morning, electrolyte tab in a litre of water. I then have, obviously, coffee, real coffee, none of this other jazz. And then I try and get some sunlight, try and get 5 minutes at least in the eyes. That's for hormonal rhythms. What you're trying to do is you're elevating cortisol to pull down melatonin. You're then going to be in the game ready. You want to get your adrenal function properly. What you don't want to do is put coffee straight into your system first thing. That's like putting a petrol on top of a small match of fire. You're going to literally light it up. And everyone says they use a coffee to go to the bathroom in the morning. Let your body do its natural process by hydrating first, because a lot of people, an example, many people have diarrhea in the morning because they haven't got enough hydration in their guts and they haven't got enough blood within their guts. Whereas if you hydrate first thing, get enough water, and you lo and behold, you'll have better digestion. And lastly, if I've got early morning runs and I'm running first thing in the morning, I use this, a carb mix. So this has 30 grams of carbs, and it has 1,000 milligrams of sodium if you double up, but I use half the mix. You're trying to, you burn 30 to 60, probably for me, because I'm a big dude, 60 grams of carbs an hour, depending who you are, 500 milligrams of sodium. So an hour-long session running, I use this. Anything longer, I take stuff with me. Apart from that, this is currently my fridge. There are a few things that I've missed, but nothing major, mainly veg and stuff like sauces. The main thing that you're trying to get from this video that I would love you to do is realize that nutrition is about abundance of nutrient-dense foods. What it's not about limitation. What many people do is they take nutrition and they see perfect. My diet does not consist of all this perfect food all the time. I go out for dinner with my missus. I love barbecue ribs. People will know that I'm a barbecue king. I love a bit of brisket. I am going to enjoy the fruits of amazing food. But when I'm looking to perform at my best as a parent, when I'm looking to perform at my best as an athlete, when I'm looking to perform at my best as a businessman, what I do is I take charge of my nutrition. I make it as convenient as possible and abundant. Now, those that work with me will know about energy availability. That's going to be available in a new video. That's a whole different wormhole. But understanding the principles behind nutrient-based foods is imperative for that baseline level of understanding of how to fuel your performance, be better at your job, be better at your sport, get the gains that you want with your performance, and more to the point, just have more energy to cool shit. Anyway, I digress. That's the video. That's the layman's terms. If you have any questions about what I'm eating or how to sort of build a nutrition plan or what that looks like from a calorie standpoint, drop a comment below. I'd be more than happy to help you.